Rusame reader, Crow Song! And today I will be reading to you from Stuck With You by Buzzy B 1001. Now, on to Chapter 1. Third person point of view. America watched the clock closely, wishing for this meeting to end. Right now, he was sitting at his seat with all the other countries. He was tired of looking at the clock, so he turned his attention towards his enemy, Russia. Russia was a tall male with amber eyes. He always wore a funny-looking hat, no matter where he was. Poking through that hat was 2 black dog ears. They looked to be husky ears, but nobody knew for sure what they were. Russia caught the American looking at him and gave him the middle finger. America hissed and returned the same notion. They both glared at each other, one growling while the other hissed. America! Russia! Pay attention! America and Russia both turned to the male who spoke. Yuan was standing there with his arms crossed and cat ears twitching in irritation. Yuan shook his head and continued discussing solutions to global warming. America paid no attention and continued glaring at Russia, who had the same idea. They glared at each other until the meeting ended. America got up to leave and noticed that Russia got up to talk with Soviet. He didn't pay attention to it and left the building. America turned into his cat form and started walking home. He took his time and didn't flinch when other countries ran past him. Suddenly, a hand grabbed him by the collar. America tried to get away from them, but to no avail. The person ripped the collar off him and threw him down on the ground. America looked up at the person only to discover that it was his other enemy, the Soviet Union, or USSR. Soviet walked away while still holding America's collar. America moved to stand up, but his legs gave up on him. He fell to the ground and just laid there. He watched the cars drive by until he was able to stand up. America wandered around the streets and alleyways. He jumped up onto a trash can to get a better view as to where he was, but ended up slipping and falling into the garbage can. America yowled in shock as his paws slipped out from under him. Again, he was paralyzed, unable to move his body because of the pain. Falling into an empty garbage can is not the softest thing ever. He decided to call out for help, but since he was a cat, only meows escaped. After hours of meowing, the garbage can opened up. America saw a woman standing there. She carefully reached in and picked the American up. The woman pet his fur while saying it was going to be okay. She carried him all the way to her house, to the bathroom. The woman turned on the water and placed him in it. America always hated getting wet while in his cat form, so he started struggling. The woman laughed while she tried to keep him still. Finally, after an hour of struggling, it was over. The lady set America down on the floor and called someone on her phone. America sat there quietly until the woman was done talking. He began meowing at her, trying to figure out what happened. She simply pet his head and sat down on the couch. America curled up on the floor. He thought about turning back into his human form. He soon drifted off to sleep, dreaming about being back to normal. The sleep didn't last long, though, because after a moment or so, someone began moving him. Amay opened his eyes and noticed a guy from the pound was carrying him. He started panicking and trying to get away. The pound man carried him to the car and opened up a crate. America was placed inside and locked in while the pound man left to get in the driver's seat. America curled up, tucking his paws beneath him. He closed his eyes, hoping that this was all just a nightmare. It felt like forever until the car had stopped. America had fallen asleep, and when he woke up, he was in a different crate. There were tons of cats around him. He moved all the way back into the crate, leaning on the wall. He heard all the desperate meowing of the other cats. He moved his paws over his ears to block it out. Amay heard voices and footsteps getting closer. The door opened and 2 figures walked into the room. America was too busy hiding to see who they were, but recognized the Pound Man's voice. "So, what kind of cat are you looking for, sir?" The Pound Man spoke to the other figure. The other person spoke with a heavy Russian accent that America could swear he'd heard before. "Any cat is fine. I just need company in my house." The Pound Man led the other person around the room until they got to America's crate. The other man looked into the crate at the ragdoll cat. "What's this cat?" The Pound Man walked up to Amay's crate and tapped on the bars. America didn't look up. He just continued to cover his ears. The other man got closer and squinted at the dark figure of America's cat body. "That's a ragdoll cat. A nice lady found him in the trash and cleaned him up. We took him off her hands and brought him here." "He doesn't seem to like it here." The other man spoke. America got a weird chill from hearing the Russian accent. America looked up and saw no other than his enemy, Russia. America moved further away. "Don't be scared, I won't hurt you." Russia stuck his finger through the bars of the crate. America didn't budge. Russia didn't move and kept saying things in a calm voice. Something about his tone made America calmer. America moved closer to the Russian's hand and let himself be pet. "I want this one," Russia stated without looking at the Pound Man. The man nodded and opened the crate. America let Russia pick him up, not like he had a choice, since Russia had a strong grip. The Pound Man led Russia to a desk to sign papers. Russia held America in one arm while he used his other arm to sign the papers. The man gave Russia the adoption papers and congratulated Russia on his new pet. He left the pound, America still in his arms. Russia walked to his car, then placed America in his passenger seat and closed the door. America looked around the car and saw an empty bottle of vodka. Typical Russian. Russia got in the car, but before he started driving, he stated, "Your name is now Natalie." He pet America's head, causing Amay to move away. "You don't trust me yet. That's fine. It will take time." The car started moving, and America crawled around the car, looking at different things. Amay stumbled across a picture of himself in his human form. On the picture, there was a heart drawn around his face. America became confused. Why did Russia have this? He picked up the photo with his mouth and crawled over to Russia, pawing at his leg and tilting his head. Russia turned to him. His eyes went wide, and he immediately snatched the photo away from Amay. America noticed Russia's face was bright red, and realization hit him. Russia has a crush on him. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. As I promised, this is a double upload because I needed to do the world. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time, and I will see you tomorrow!